So here we are, 2022. What are your plans? Maybe you're going to go on the holiday of a lifetime. Maybe you're going to buy a house. Maybe you're going to buy a car. Maybe you're going to lose some weight. Maybe you're going to cut down on the fags. Maybe you're going to cut down on your boozing. Maybe you're going to try and reduce some of your debt. Or maybe you're going to do sweet bugger all. Maybe you're going to let another year pass you by, bouncing about on your arse, going nowhere, achieving nothing, perpetuating self-loathing, resentment of others, and not so skillfully conjuring up ideas for being crap. Now, if your intentions this year are to buy your first Lamborghini, become a millionaire, or reach the top, then this video probably isn't for you, because that's just somewhere I've never been. But however, if you're trying to get yourself off the floor, stick your head out the mud, then maybe this could be for you, because I've been there. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to make your life better. Now, I've done all these things myself, so I know they work. So, pause the video, make yourself a cup of tea, pull up a chair, and let's get involved. Number 1, make a plan. And by make a plan, I mean get a diary out, or get a bit of paper out and a pen, and write down a plan. If you don't write it down, it's just a daydream. If you do write it down, it becomes a plan. And nobody wants to hear people saying, oh, if I win the lottery this week, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know, it's probably not going to happen. You're going to need to do things the hard way, the proper way, like everybody else does. Now, what I suggest you do is break it down into bite-sized chunks. This is what I did. So let's keep it simple. Say, for instance, you want to save £1,000 by the end of the year. If you divide that by the weeks of the year, it works out at about 20 quid a week. So baby steps, every week, 20 quid, 20 quid, 20 quid. Now, what I would suggest you do as well is try and go to 25 or 30 if you can, because that way, if something happens one week and you can't pay, then you know you're in front anyway, so you've given yourself a bit of a head start. This can apply towards a lot of things, really. I mean, maybe you want to lose a stone in weight. Now, this might seem a bit daunting, but if you break it down and say you want to lose £2 a month, that's a bit more doable, isn't it? So that's what I mean, baby steps, bite-sized chunks. Everything becomes infinitely more achievable when you do it like that. Also, if you're too tyrannical with yourself, you're liable to lose heart after a while and just give up. So you don't want to do that. So little and often, just keep doing it, keep plugging it away. Number 2 is be a brand. Now, like it or not, but as we go through life, people can see our strengths and weaknesses. There's nothing you can do about it. They come out. It doesn't matter how hard you try to hide these things, they just come out. You know, as I've got to my 50s now and everybody knows what I am. Okay, don't say it. So, if you're always late, if you're lazy, then people can see it. If you're reliable, if you're punctual, if you're hardworking and conscientious, people can see it. If you're gossipy and two-faced, people can see it. If you're selfish and snidey, people can see it. So, what kind of brand are you? Would you employ yourself? Answer that honestly. Would you employ yourself? Would you like to have you as a best friend? Would you be able to trust yourself if you was your best friend? Would you lend yourself 20 quid? If someone tells you a secret, will you keep it? If someone gives you a job to do and you're left unsupervised, will you do it to the best of your ability? Have a little think about this and be brutally honest with yourself. Have a think about ways you might be able to improve. If you go through life being no use to man nor beast, if you go through life trying to get as much as you can by doing as little as you possibly can, then you need to make some changes, really. You're probably a very unhappy person. But it's not all doom and gloom, because you can change. I did, you can. You just got to make the effort. Number 3 is set out your stall. Now, this is another like it or lump it situation, really, but as you go through life, people know what they can get away with you, and they know what they can't get away with. They can see your boundaries. What boundaries have you got? For instance, if you're the sort of person who can be taken advantage of, guess what? Yeah, people are going to take advantage of you. Now, this is something that's easier to achieve if you do it right from the outset, but if you haven't done, you can still do it. You need a little bit of courage. You need to put your foot down. You need to be strong, and you can change anything at any time. Now, for instance, when I go to work, I tend to work as hard as I possibly can. I tend to do as good a job as I possibly can. I don't need to be micromanaged. In fact, I hate being micromanaged. Now, that puts me in a situation where I've got strength and leverage. It means that I don't have to put up with any crap. It means I don't have to be a yes man. And I'm also ready for confrontation at any time. Now, that stands you in good stead as well. Being ready for confrontation usually means that most people don't really want to confront you. Now, I'm happy with my principles and morals. I go home and I sleep well and I don't worry about it. I earn my money and I've got nothing to feel bad about. Now, let me give you another scenario. Now, we've probably all known or worked for a narcissistic bully before. They're out there. There's plenty of them out there. In fact, to be a successful boss, being a narcissistic bully is probably a pretty good trait to have. You probably also know the type of person, I like to call them the rabbit. They're very affable, very eager to please. They'll agree with everything you say, and they'll try hard to avoid confrontation. Now, these people are like a lamb to the slaughter. They'll do as they're told. They'll probably work for less money. They'll do it with a painted smile on their face. And when they go home, they seethe. They've got resentment. They hate the people they work with because they're doing better than them. They don't get treated like that. They get more money than them. They're weak people. And these people they're a problem. Weak people, they're the ones that will stab you in the back. They're the ones that will talk about you when you're not there. Don't be a weak person. It's bad for you, and it's bad for your wife. It's bad for your kids. It's bad for your parents, the people around you, and it's bad for you. It's bad for your well-being. Don't be that rabbit. Sit out your stall. If people know that you don't take any shit, they're less likely to try and give it to you. Number 4, stay away from people who don't want what's best for you. This one's very personal to me. During my down days, I didn't like myself very much. I was the aforementioned rabbit. I felt like I had to put up with crap, and I was unworthy of people's love and respect. I had people around me that would laugh at my shortcomings, and I just tolerated it. This is really debilitating, and I grew to accept this as normal. Even now, I look back and I can't believe that I accepted this situation. I was actually vengeful and hateful and self-loathing, and as a result, my life was pretty miserable. I'm past it now. I've learnt a lesson, and I'd rather be alone all the time than spend another minute with people that haven't got my best interests at heart. Now, if you're living your life like this, then honestly, I feel your pain, and you really need to distance yourself from these people, whoever they are. You need to learn self-respect. Once you've done that, you can demand respect from others. Now, this is a good gauge. If you tell a friend, a so-called friend, bad news, they'll normally commiserate with you. You know, if you haven't been feeling very well, or life's not going your way, or you've lost a bet on the dogs or whatever, you know, people go, no, and they'll normally commiserate with you. But what about when you tell them good news? If you tell a friend that you've got a pay rise, or you've got yourself a new partner, or you bought a new car, and they go, then they're not really a friend, and I would suggest avoiding them. Number 5, tell the truth. In my opinion, this is a superpower. Now, this is a fantastic habit to get into. I've been practicing it for quite a while now. When you tell the truth all the time, it makes you strong. Anyway, I remember a few years ago, the mother of my youngest son, she said something to me, and she swore on her children's life that it was true. Anyway, I caught her out a while afterwards, and do you know what her excuse was? Her excuse was that she had her fingers crossed behind her back. Now, really, a 40-year-old person, they had their fingers crossed behind their back. That's not someone you really want to be involved with, is it? That's not someone you really want to be, is it? Telling the truth makes you strong. Telling the truth means you can be trusted. Telling the truth means you're worthy. Telling the truth means you can't trip yourself up. Telling the truth is freedom. Telling the truth means you never have to cross your fingers behind your back. I believe that if you're put in a situation where you don't want to tell the truth, maybe you're keeping a secret for somebody, just keep stum. You're under no obligation to tell anybody anything. But just don't lie. Okay, now that's the 5. But I've got one more. Find your God. Find your faith. When you have faith, you have hope. And sometimes you might find in life that that's about all you have got. I suggest you hang on to it and don't let go of it. Anyway, when I started writing this video, I realised there was so much more I could say. But I'm not going to do it for now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and maybe leave a comment, and I'll do some more like this in the future. Yeah, also consider subscribing. I've got some other videos that might be useful to you as well. Now, also on top of that, right, if you are struggling at the moment, now I know what it's like. The world can be a lonely place. If you're struggling at the moment, feel free to email me. I'll leave my email address in the description below. Feel free to email me, and I promise I'll get back to you. Okay? Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year.